I'm recording now, David. Thank you for the reminder. All right, now that it is 5:02, if everyone could, okay, Brandy, I'm just gonna ask on here. Do you want me to have them do it just in the chat, or what do you want, how do you want to do it? We're gonna do attendance virtually.
Directly to me in the chat.
So
like just go to
everyone, if you could private message Brandy Wayne in the chat with your student ID number, she's going to take attendance that way. We use Presence for these meetings as well as any event that we put on. So specifically Rise of the Red. And we just need your student ID number. So throw that in the chat directly to her. You don't need to put it public. And then we'w get started. So,
sorry, who did you set up?
Brandy Wayne, BRANDY WANAYNE. And then David, take us away whenever you're ready.
Okay, are we good? We're good? Wonderful. All right, I call this meeting to order at 5:03. First of all, I want to start by welcoming you all to the first General Assembly of this year. This is the Student Senate. So thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm going to hand it over to the Student Body President, Emma Hoytia.
Will it go? There we go. Okay, so hello everyone. We're going to start off. This is going to be just a whole bunch of information. Like I said in my email, take out a pencil and paper if that's the kind of person that you are. But I will share this with you guys, share this presentation with you guys after we're finished. And I'm also recording this. So if you just love the performance so much, you can rewatch it. But we'll start off with some introductions. So my name is Emma Hoytia. I'm the Student Body President this year. And just some basic things about me. I'm a junior management and leadership major with a minor in music. I'm from the Twin Cities area of Minnesota. And with that, I will pass it on to the next person on the list.
Hi, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces, so I'm excited to see you all, especially newcomers. Welcome to Student Senate. My name is Brandy Wayne. I am the Director of Administration for Student Senate. I've been with Student Senate since my freshman year. I'm a junior now, double majoring in political science and computer information systems with a minor in Spanish and a concentration in data science. Excited to see you all on board, and hopefully this is a prosperous year, with a lot of optimism.
You know what, since we're just starting off, let's also explain a little bit of what our position is. So Brandy, you go ahead and explain.
Yeah, so as Director of Administration, we follow up by our bylaws and constitution. So as a registered organization, a lot of you may know this, that you need a constitution. Student Senate really follows by the constitution and bylaws and listed in our constitution. My role as Director of Administration is really to be a liaison between the university and Student Senate, while also assisting with our other exec members. I'm the one really taking the minutes or notes for our different meetings, creating different agendas along that area, as well as helping out internal affairs, which is our policy-driven group for Student Senate. meeting with VP of student activities a little bit, while also serving on different committees, but that's not really in the job title. I just do it because I like those committees, including strategic planning and mission and retention. It's a mouthful, but it's.
All right, and next we have David Day. You're muted.
There we go. Hello, everybody. I'm David Day. I am the Speaker of the Assembly. So basically what that means is I'm the presider over all of our General Assembly meetings. I'm also in charge of inviting people before the Senate to speak. I also am in charge of basically managing the seats in the Senate, essentially, when we have vacancies and things of that nature, or when we have to submit people to go to university committees or recruit academic senators. I'm in charge of all of that. Also listed within our Constitution and bylaws, we don't necessarily have a vice president within the Senate, but in the event that the president cannot perform their duties, I would step in and perform those duties. Other than that, I'm political science and organizational communication double major, and I'm from Rockford, Illinois. So thanks for all joining us here. I'm glad to see you.
And next we have Ellie Hawkins.
Hey, I'm Ellie Hawkins. I'm Chief of Staff. I'm a junior journalism major with political science minor and public relations advertising minor. Basically what the Chief of Staff does is make sure all of the cabinet members are on the same page and know what everybody's doing, and then also make sure that everybody, like the president, Speaker of the Assembly, and Director of Administration, know what the cabinet's doing and what each other are doing, and just pretty much the main mode of communication between everybody. Yeah.
And now we'll move into the chair people in the Senate. Each of these people are in charge of one of the committees. And as you'll notice, we do not have a chairperson of public relations right now. So if anybody's interested in that, contact David. A application will be opened up soon. But we'll start off with chairperson of campus safety and community relations, AJ Fidanzo.
Hi, everyone. As Emma said, I'm AJ Fidanzo. I'm an industrial engineer with a concentration in engineering management, and I also have an ML minor. I'm from Lamont, Illinois. A little bit about just kind of what we're going to be doing in the committee. So the CSCR committee is responsible for promoting and cultivating a safe campus experience, as well as positive involvement in the surrounding community. We will work to make the campus safer through communication with administration and local police, assessing current safety measures and proposing new resolutions, and also promoting service opportunities and positive civic involvement. Thank you.
Awesome. And now chairperson of academic affairs, Josie Ward.
Hi, my name is Josie Ward. Academic Affairs basically works with different academic bodies on campus, like the library, the bookstore, and things like that. And we kind of monitor what goes on with curriculum and professors and making sure that everything runs smoothly and that there aren't any issues there. I am a junior international studies, political science, and French major with, I'll get 2 degrees. I'll get a BA and a BS from it. I think that's about it.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And now chairperson of campus affairs, Harini Vasudevanallur.
Hi guys, I'm Harini. I'm a junior mechanical engineering major. I'm from Peoria, local. I went to Dunlap High School. So if you guys are from local, we probably played you in tennis at some point. So I'm the campus affairs chairperson. So campus affairs pretty much is like the broader perspective of like pretty much everything. So we look at campus related concerns. Some of them include like dorm life, health, dining halls, technology, or any administration concerns. So let's see. So we pretty much strive to have a better campus through acknowledging and providing solutions to campus related problems. But since times have changed from last semester, predominantly this semester we'll be focusing more on like COVID related concerns and how to still like have a student life with social distancing and, you know, still have a social life, I guess. So looking forward to working with you guys.
Thank you so much. And then chairperson of diversity and inclusion, Emmanuel Aguiman.
Hi everyone, I am Emmanuel Ajuman and I am a political science major. I am from Ghana. I am the chairperson of diversity and inclusion. So the Department of the Diversity and Inclusion is just responsible for supporting historically underrepresented communities in Bradley, and we also host events to create awareness on various forms of discriminations. So currently we have two projects and we are supposed to host events in light of the political climate right now in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. Yep.
Wonderful. And then last but not least, we have our chairperson of internal affairs, which is also referred to as the parliamentarian. So you'll hear those used interchangeably, but Karen Fergoso. And actually, she might not be here quite yet because we have a mandatory meeting for freshman senators going on. So I'll let her introduce herself once she joins in to this meeting. And then is Tom on the call? No. Okay. So we have an advisor. All clubs and organizations on campus have an advisor. Ours is Tom Coy. His title is something in student affairs, but he's just all over the place. He's done a lot of stuff with setting up classrooms for being COVID friendly, and he is also the advisor for ACBU now, but he'll be in all General Assembly meetings, and if there's anything that you need to go beyond a student for, you can feel free to reach out to Tom, but he just kind of presides over all of us.
Hey Emma?
Yeah.
Can I just pitch in there? Tom is our, like Emma said, Tom is our advisor, but he's the executive director. So a lot of things student affairs related. He works with Nathan Thomas, who's a VP for campus related things. So Tom has a lot of stuff going on all the time. He is everything and more. So salute to Tom whenever he can hop on. But yeah, sorry Emma, he's our exec, and he's in Overland and Markham. If you guys ever need to stop by and see him.
Yeah, and I guess along with that, like she said, he just does everything and anything. So if it's something super important, like I said, that you need to go above a student, feel free to go to him. But more often than not, you will reach out to one of the student body officers or your chairperson as well. And that's just the top 4 people that you see on this list. That's what we will refer to as the student body officers or SBOs. And then the chair people is the other group below. As a whole, we make up the cabinet. But the student body officers, we are all equals. No one is above the other. That's a decision that we made, that we are a united front. So talk to one, you're basically talking to all. And campus safety, community relations, academic affairs, campus affairs, and diversity and inclusion, the first 4 that you see of the chair people, they all report to Ellie. And then chairperson of internal affairs will report to Brandy, and eventually chairperson of PR will report to David. And I'm sorry that I didn't make some sort of flow sheet like that. So if you'd like that, I'm happy to make one. But that's the gist of it. And then I just, I'm connected to everyone. Can't get away from me. All right, so communication, we're gonna be using a team drive that all of you guys should be added to at this point. If you are not added to the shared drive, please shoot me an email and I'd be happy to add your email to that. We also got a Canvas site for the year that I just published, so you probably got an invitation to that. I doubt it's going to be used a ton for anything that you'll need to go and fill out. It's going to be the easiest way for the SBOs to reach out and do mass emails to the Senate. But I think I'll just kind of play around with it. I'll probably put minutes there, put our constitution and bylaws, things like that, but you won't really be expected to use it a ton. GroupMe is going to be an app that you're definitely going to want to download because it's used for all of our committee contact. And then also just follow us on all of our social medias. I've been putting stuff on Instagram and Facebook. Nothing has been going out on Twitter these days, but please follow, share, all of those things because all of us collectively have way more followers than the Senate Instagram and Facebook could ever have. So please do that. And then I believe David and am I doing this one too? I think so. Just a quick rundown of what Student Senate is. In simple terms, I have it as we are the liaison between the student body and the university administration. When people ask, that's just a good one-liner to have in your back pocket. In a deeper sense, we work to strengthen the relationship between the student body, university faculty and staff, and the Peoria community by working to address and develop lasting solutions to issues facing the student body. Another good thing to remember is that we're not just kind of a student-created group on campus. We're not like the rest of the organizations that are here at Bradley. We are we're set in stone. We are within the university. We have shared governance at Bradley, which means there's a university senate, which is comprised of faculty and staff, the administration, and the student senate. And so all of those people have a say in what goes on at the university, and we have the power to make change. So another good thing to know. All right, and I hand it back to David.
All righty. So we briefly just want to talk about how many senators we have in the Senate, basically what those senators are. So we have 15 at-large positions for senators. And basically what that means is, as an at-large senator, your constituency is the entire campus. So you are representing the interest of all people on the campus. So that is who your constituent, and those are 15 seats that we have. We then have, each class has a set of senators. Every class, except for the freshman class, has 4 senators. And then the freshman class has 8 senators. So again, the name represents the constituency that you have. So the seniors are representing seniors, the juniors are representing juniors, the sophomores are representing sophomores, and the freshmen, of course, are representing freshmen. We also have academic senators, which are 2 per college. So each college in the university gets to send 2 academic senators to the Senate. So yeah. Currently, we have some vacancies in the Senate that we're looking to fill. Most importantly, we have a chairperson of PR position open. Right now, I am the interim PR chairperson, but once we find one, then I'll just oversee PR. Then we have at-large seats. We have 9 at-large seats open. So if you know anyone, we'll also have this available for public viewing. So if someone sees that and they're interested, I hope that they would apply to be one. We have 2 senior seats open. So again, if you know anyone, please send them our way. And then we have academic senator positions open, 2 for the business college, 1 for the communication college, 1 for education, 2 for education and health sciences, 1 for engineering, 2 for LAS, 1 transfer, and 1 graduate. So again, if you know anyone, please, please, please send them our way so we can get those positions filled.
Senator requirements and expectations. I think it's just so interesting how I'm always talking about the least exciting things regarding Senate.
Exciting, Brad.
Oh, thank you, Emma. So Senator requirements and expectations. Like I said before, we follow strictly by our Constitution, bylaws, and when we set guidelines and requirements, they're required for you. So for instance, our 5 to 6:30 p.m. requirement, it is set in our Constitution and bylaws that you have to attend. If you have a class that goes from 4:30 to 6:30, every Monday during our GA meeting, which is our General Assembly, then obviously you cannot be a part of that, because then you'll be in a senator in back standing, and therefore after so many missed meetings, you won't be able to come, right? Obviously your classes are a priority. We want you to prioritize that. You can't do both at the same time. Another requirement is that you attend weekly GA and committee meetings. So those are another requirement. If you cannot make a meeting for any reason within restriction and guidelines that you're sick or something, or you have X, Y, Z happen, where it's not anything, a scheduling conflict, where you could have rescheduled for something, then communicate that. Communicate that to the students in the email. At Bradley, what's our email? Bradley Senate, what are we? What's our email? Oh, BradleyUSenate@gmail.com. Yeah, Bradley, I'll put that in the chat, but please communicate if you cannot. Along with that, along with attending your committee meetings, as well as the scheduled GA meetings, it's required for you to submit a weekly constituency report. So like David has said, constituency reports, they're a way for you to get to know your constituents, right? You represent a portion of the student body. We really want you to get out and express your concern, what we are. We really want to be active with the student body, since we are one of the largest ones who can communicate to that, to the administration. So please submit your constituency reports before midnight every Sunday. We do take attendance. So we will talk about the senator in bad standing. We do take attendance. So if a constituency report is missed consecutively, it puts you in bad standing. So many bad standings will, you will not be able to be in Student Senate anymore. The submission link can be found in a shared drive. If you do not have access to the Google shared drive and you are a senator, even if you're not, please let us know. We will gladly share that with you. This must be completed before Monday, so IA, which is the interim affairs, has time to send them to the respective committees. So right after you submit a constituency report, it shows in a direct which committee you want it to go to, if that's campus safety or community relations, or if that's diversity inclusion. We divide that up into committees, and that gets addressed accordingly. As well as attending GAs and doing the constituency reports, we do have a dress code. Sometimes this may change week to week, but typically our dress code, we have guests, like David had mentioned. We bring guests to our meetings. Sometimes that may be Chief Josco or Nathan Thomas or someone within the body, or if you have anyone of interest or you want to hear from, sometimes we may even have politicians or board members from Bradley come and speak to us. We have a dress code. It is business casual. If you don't know what business casual is, we will gladly help you to understand what business casual is. You can also Google it. It's really just something simple, a dress shirt, even a blazer if you're cold in your room or wherever you're at. We know this is very hard being on the phone. A lot of times it may seem like class, but Student Senate is a really, really big way to get involved on campus. A lot of things that we do is really like strategizing different classes that are added to Webster or added to U Achieve, right? We do so much on campus, and one thing I'm always so proud to say, we brought condoms to the halls, right? A proud thing is that we brought condoms. We do amazing things. So we just ask you guys to please stay engaged and connected to Student Senate every day. A lot of times it may feel like homework. At the end of homework gives you good results if you do it right.
Beautifully said. Wow. This is just a rundown of what minutes look like. At the end of this meeting, after we're done with this presentation, that kind of gives you the basics. We're going to actually have a kind of shortened, quick GA meeting that will show you exactly what minutes look like. But here's an example. You'll see them later as well. Brandy, do you want to take this one too?
Yeah, so our constituency reports. The purpose of this is for you all to voice your constituency concerns. So whatever senator that you are and who you represent is the body that you represent. So if you're a freshman senator, you represent the freshman body, a sophomore senator. If you have questions on how you can engage or how you can get to your entire class, we have a PowerPoint about that, right? Go out and engage. The longer that you are on campus, the more people you get to know, your classes, right? It will become natural to just talk to people, right? Problems are always a thing on campus. There are always concerns people have. If those are concerns, write a constituency report about it. It's probably something like, oh my goodness, Harper washing machine is always catching fire, right? Write a constituency report about it, right? We'll give it to the right resources. A lot of times those constituency reports can be specific or a general problem. So like I said, the washing machines are always on fire in Harper, that's very specific. A general problem just may be that there is the library hours fluctuate a lot, or you can say that there are not enough resources for food on campus. I guess you could say would be a more general issue. Food, right, is very broad. If you go more specific, there's not enough pizza options. It's very specific, right? So a very specific food category that you want something from. How to write an effective report. That's something else that if you really need guidance on, I'll put the 2 slideshows in there on how to write a constituency report and how to write it and how to reach out to your constituents. I'll put that into the drive so you can look at if you're unsure on how to write a good one or if it can count towards your attendance. Because if you write a very short one, IA can really just drift out what's a good one and what's not. So if you put like 1 sentence in there, it doesn't count as an effective report. The committee cannot do something if you say, the food here sucks. Well, what sucks about it? Is it because there's not enough gluten-free options? Is it because there's not enough vegan options, right? What's not good about it? So don't focus on the length, focus on the content of it, focus on if you're effectively delivering a good report, right? Big depth, avoid issues that you've already addressed. So if you're constantly talking about how hot the basement ground level is in Williams, right? We'll pick up on that, right? We'll constantly pick up. We're people constantly looking at and reading your reports. We'll say, oh, hey, Emma, you're writing the same thing over and over again, right? Who are you talking to? It's the same 3 people. So that's a solution, right? We always ask if you have an issue, give an alternative and what you would do better, right? Even if that's another food source. So right now we go through AMRC. AMRC. So that's our main food supplier. If you have if you want to look into what they supply, you can probably ask the university. Or put in your constituency report about here's an alternative. I remember that we mostly get our food distribution from XYZ and Emmerich. What about we do this, right? And kind of mentioned this before, if you always talking to the same 2 or 3 people and you're writing the same report over and over again, you're not writing an effective report. So we really encourage you guys to connect with people outside of your inner circle, not just your buddies, because to be a great senator, it's to talk to people.
And here's just this is what the form looks like. Super straightforward. Email address, name, what kind of senator you are, where you think it should be sent to. I left the where it should be sent to as a checkbox. So if you are absolutely just like, I have no idea, I'm trying to choose between 2 committees, give it to 2 committees. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't get to the perfect group. The committee that it's sent to could forward it on to the other chairperson. But then just simple place to put your detailed report. Put as much information or as little information as you want, but like it said, focus on the content. Brandy, you touched on this a little bit. This is just an explanation of super in-depth, how do you become a senator in bad standing? What happened, and then this next slide is what happens if you're a senator in bad standing. Brandy, do you want to read through this? Do you want to go in depth?
I won't go in depth, but I'll just go in very briefly, just simply saying a senator in bad standing is really if you have 1 unexcused absence, right, without contacting Bradley U Student Center at gmail.com with a 24-hour notice. So 1 excused, unexcused, 2 unexcused absence from GA, 3 unexcused absence. If you have 3 unexcused absence, the board or the IA will really look and say, hey, where have you been? And if you're not responding within a certain amount of time, you're officially out of Student Senate. Failure to submit a constituency report consecutively 2 weeks. beginning at the ending of September, so not today or not this Monday or next Monday, but at the ending of the month. If you don't submit 2 reports in a row, they'll put you in bad standing. If you don't submit 2 and then you're absent another like 2 weeks, they'll also put you in bad standing and may also do an immediate pull out from Senate. Not communicating. So please communicate. They'll also put you in bad standing. Another thing put you in bad standing would be the way that we do is that if you're in bad standing the first time, so that's an unexcused absence or 2 missed constituency reports in a row, your name will be called during GA. And that's really, like, we don't want to do that. The second time that you're in bad standing, not only will your name be called, but you would not be able to vote. So we vote on a lot of different things. We'll go over that as well. We vote on a lot of different things. You won't be able to have a voting right during our GA meetings. The 4th time, we may go through an impeachment process, or of course, we'd be removed, or a conversation. So we really strongly encourage conversations. We understand things happen. This is not a class, you know, we completely understand things happen. So we strongly encourage just conversations and things of such in that matter. What else was I gonna say? Bad standing. Oh yes, I mentioned several times that if it's constituency reports consecutively missed, that you'll be in bad standing. But if you choose to do it every other week, you know, if it's not still consecutive, that still counts as bad standing. So if you didn't choose, like say for instance, today was the ending of the month and we started doing constituency reports. If you didn't do it today, but you did it next week, but you didn't do it the following week, and that's like a constant matter. Remember that there's not that many weeks in a semester. It's only about 17. We're already in week 16, and that's including finals. So we only go to like 13 weeks. So, you know, every other week we'll pick up on that. They'll put you in bad standing as well. So sorry, I'm done.
Yeah, no, and that's just good information, because it's not about, you know, just checking the box. We've all been there at the beginning of our Senate careers, and it's like, shoot, I forgot to submit my constituency report. Just get into a habit of not treating it as a chore, but really just like, we all see issues at Bradley. We all know that there's problems, really deep problems, and then some superficial problems. Just stay in tune with those things. All right. Voting. Brandy again?
Last one, and I'm done. Last one. So voting, we vote, like I said, we vote a lot. We do have new seniors coming in, freshmen, like David mentioned, we have vacancies. We have to vote. So once our session is active for any time where you're not constantly in Senate or you want to move positions, we vote on that. And that's required a 2/3 majority of student Senate. So however many seats that we have at that time, 2/3 of that needs to pass for a new senator to be instated. And it also goes for any chairperson position or any of the exec positions if that comes to be. It needs to be a 2/3 majority pass. Resolutions. Resolutions are our way of doing things. So I would say the simplest. It can be a very long document and very thorough, depending on what the resolution is. It really states of, hey, this is the problem, this is our solution, and this is what we want to do about it, right? So there was a resolution about the hours at the library, right? So the hours at the library were very odd. A couple of years back, how it wasn't open during the busiest times of either the year or the time of day or week. So there was a resolution written by one of the chairpersons, and it was about 3 pages long, where she compared the different universities and their hours, and very beautifully written. It took a few weeks, but that one also has to be passed by a majority. It gets seen by the floor, which you guys are the floor. When we bring it to the floor, that means we bring it to all the senators. It gets brought to the floor about 3 times before being passed and approved by internal affairs. It goes back and forth. After that being brought to the floor once, it has to get passed by 3/4. If voted in 1 week, if it gets to the floor twice, so if we bring it, say, hey, here's my resolution, and it doesn't pass by some of the senators, or it has to sit back on it. So I guess like marinate and come back and it can pass by 3/4. So it has to marinate. So either way it marinates, either if it passes or if it doesn't, just so that it goes well, because once it's done with us, it gets passed to the administration. So it goes to Nathan Thomas' desk, and it gets seen by the administration. So when we say administration, we mean if it's something big, you know, sometimes the provost hears about it. So those are things that we do. When we say that we are a liaison to the administration, we are really a direct linkage to what can happen to the university. So if you have any amazing ideas and you think they're just really just out of the way, I'm sure it's obtainable in some format. Okay, great, I'm done.
Awesome. And then I'm going to pass this off to Ellie, and she's going to give a quick, well, actually, these have already been explained by our wonderful chair people. So I'm thinking we will actually skip over this, but this is an in-depth look at each of them. So feel free to go back and look at them if wanted. I have placed everyone in their committees. So you guys filled out a form that told me that you ranked them. Some of them were heavier in, you know, people's first choice was one committee and I had to kind of spread it out. So I tried my best. If you're looking at these lists and you are just completely unhappy with it and you're going to hate Senate with your whole entire being, if you're in this committee, please let me know and we can figure out a change. Quite honestly, the way that I see it is even if you are in a specific group, that doesn't mean that you can't you know, have something to do with the work in other committees. So you're submitting constituency reports for all the committees. The work that you're doing though, the hands-on stuff of digging into the constituency reports, that's what you're doing in your committees. So again, if you have a big problem with it, please let me know. Super happy to move things around if needed, but this is where we are a little bit more even. We will start committee meetings next week. That is that. Covering what the types of work that you guys will do in your committees, I have broken it up into 3 things. A project, a campaign, and a resolution. Project is just an overarching word that covers any and everything. A project might last 2 days, a project might last 4 weeks. Say you get a constituency report that says, there's a broken sprinkler on this quad that keeps spraying me when I walk past it. That's you reaching out to maintenance, seeing what you can do about it, and then maybe seeing if they could check all the sprinklers and make sure that they're pointing in the right direction. That would take 1 email and it's solved. A project that lasts longer might be, you know, contacting several different professors to see if they can, you know, do their job differently. Something that doesn't need kind of resolution action. So that's just an overarching word. Everyone in their committee is going to be working on at least 1 project at a time, if not many more. A campaign, I want PR to be much more connected to all of the committees this year. So if you, if and when you want to educate the student body on something, whether it's a topic that you think is important for people to know about or a project that you guys are working on, you're going to work with PR and do a campaign on our social medias. And then a resolution, that is going to be a last resort type of thing. So if you're working on a project that you think is going to, you know, be solved with a couple of emails, but you're realizing that something might be more systemic or might be harder to turn over without resolution action, then that's when you are going to write a resolution. The chairperson of each committee is going to be in charge of those things. So you're not going to be the only one working on it, but a resolution can be brought to the floor by 2 senators. If 2 senators just want to write their own thing, you can bring it to the floor that way. My suggestion would be to do it as a group and really flesh out all of the information that you need and the facts that you need. But I won't be upset if we have, you know, less than 3 resolutions come out of this semester. I foresee this semester being very reactive to all the new issues that will be coming getting thrown at our faces as we do life very differently. But it'd be awesome to see a resolution, but it is a last resort. And there won't be any sort of set of requirements of number of resolutions that need to come out of a committee this semester. This is an example of a resolution. This first page on the left is a letter written by the writers of the resolution. And then on that next page, you'll see just a bunch of the word whereas. That's how you write a resolution. A lot of the word whereas. It needs to cover all the background information, you know, studies of different schools that have done something similar. You just need to really, really dig in and basically force the hands of those above us to go, no, seriously, listen, this is something serious and this is something that needs to change. This particular resolution, because of all the resources that it has attached and the case studies of different schools, it was 14 pages long. So if that's something that you want to tackle, I'd be very, very proud to see that happen. Brandy, you do have one more if you want to just touch on budget. What I will say is I was just talking to Tom, and he just contacted me. For some reason, he couldn't get into this Zoom meeting. I think our Zoom meetings got pretty messed up today, if I'm being totally honest. And he tried to get in, but he couldn't, so he'll be here next time. But he did say that things aren't going to be quite as set in stone this year. As we know, money is tight. So if we have a budget request, it will go through Nathan Thomas, Vice President of Student Affairs. So with that said, this actually isn't accurate information because we don't have that much money for each committee, but this is what it typically has been. We have $100 set aside for each committee that you are free to use for your projects, and then a general fund there at the bottom that can be requested from if you surpass that $100. But like I said, your chairperson can request money and we will request it from the school. Who knows, maybe we can fund some things this year. Rise of the Red. Last week was the first one and we have a couple coming up. I just created a sign up link for the next 3 coming up, and we'll talk about that once we get to the minutes later. But it is a event that Student Senate puts on to raise awareness for, Bradley Pride, get people wearing red. The idea is that everyone wears red on Fridays, and then that is the prerequisite for going and getting free stuff. I did not require that last week, but as the weeks progress, we will turn away people that aren't wearing red and get people to, have a little school spirit. This week, we are handing out a variety of shirts and hats, as well as bracelets. So it'll be pretty fun. And now just for some of the kind of emotional, rah, here we go kind of stuff. I wrote a personal mission statement for the year. And then I also tasked the committee chair people to write their own mission statement for their committees. So those will be coming out soon. It's more of a personal thing for each committee, but if you're interested in seeing all of them, maybe I'll post them somewhere. But mine is to advocate for, serve, and encourage the Bradley University student body through thoughtful relationships and commitment to personal growth. So this was a mentality that the 4 of us SBOs that ran together last semester had in our heads as we campaigned. The image in my head is advocate for, is kind of above the student, leading the student, going before them. Serving, you're kind of below, you're meeting their needs from behind, and then encourage, kind of a side-by-side aspect. So just this mentality of we are surrounding the student. They are protected from all sides kind of thing. The Bradley University student body, through thoughtful relationships, that is your connection to other people. That is your connection to your committee members, to other Senate members, to the people around you, your constituents. You aren't in this position for yourself. It just isn't really possible. Yes, you're improving the university for yourself and for the future of your education. But when it comes down to it, we really are serving. That's the point of our existence. So having thoughtful relationships, not just passive ones, but really connecting with people, understanding why they're having the problems that they're having, and realizing that a problem at face value might not be the same thing once you get to know someone and realize the real issue, and you need to take a few steps back to really see it. And then also commitment to personal growth. I think you do your best work when you can give from the overflow of your cup, not when you're on empty, that kind of thing. I know personally the beginning of this year has been a roller coaster. It's been quite difficult, but it's also been extremely rewarding to get to speak with people and connect. But I am only able to do that when I know I'm okay. And I genuinely want you to know that this group, I want to care for you authentically, and you need to focus on yourself because no one else can do that kind of mentality. And that's just a pep talk for life in general. And I hope you'll take that with you as we go into a very difficult year. But truly, focus on yourself, fill up your cup, and then you're able to, overflow with that, and then give to others. So with that, take a second, think about that, let that sink in, and then give yourself a moment to think, why am I in this position? Why did I want to in the first place? How does this change things? And then also maybe not writing out a full mission statement for yourself, but have something in mind. Every day you get up, think about, how can I pursue the betterment of campus, and have that in your head. Just a few more things. My personal expectations and hopes for the year that I hope will spread out through all of you. Emotional, physical, and relational investment, kind of the same thing. Physical meaning just time, since we can't see each other physically. But being invested every single day. I want you to remember that you shape Senate and Senate doesn't shape you. I read that about some company that had that as a kind of mentality. And I think that's really important for anybody that has been in Senate before, that has been in it in past years. We've seen a lot, and it's been quite difficult. And I want to just absolutely strip away all of the old stuff and realize that I have full faith in the cabinet that we have, and I know that will then extend to the Senate that we have. And I trust every single one of you to shape Senate into what it needs to be for this year. It's not going to be the same every single year, but you guys will shape it into what it needs to be. And then also just get excited. Like I said, in the past, it's been difficult for Senate, but stripping that away, getting excited for the possibilities, for what can happen in the future. The idea of Senate is so exciting to me. And I hope that we can, focus on the potential and do something with it, and not just try to check a box. That was a ton of information. Even if it's an awkward silence for a while, think about it. Voice any questions that you have now. Email us too, but I'll leave a couple minutes for anybody to voice any questions in the chat or verbally. All right, well, thank you all for joining me on that ride. Thank you, Joshua. We'll see you. And now let's move on to, in our last 40 minutes, let's move on to our kind of condensed version of GA. So I'm going to share with you, I'm going to screen share the minutes. But also you guys can find it in the shared drive. So actually take a second, if you have a computer out, see if you are shared on the shared drive, and see if you can pull up the GA minutes. And I'll let everyone take a second to do that while I screen share. All right, and now let's start from scratch. David, why don't you give your little speech that you'll give at the beginning of every GA, and we'll go through this business as usual.
Wonderful. So we already called the meeting to order at 5:03 p.m. earlier on. It says roll call, but basically that means that you need to make sure that you check in with Brandy for attendance. Today is who are they checking in with today?
They're sending their ID to Brandy.
Wonderful.
They're sending it to me, but typically they'll check in with Karen.
With Karen, right. So typically you'll check in with Karen, but today you're going to check in with Brandy. So make sure you do that either before or after the meeting so that your attendance is recorded. Today we do not have any guest speakers. However, in the future we may have guest speakers, and so that is where they'll speak in their time. We don't have any previous minutes to approve, so we'll skip right past that and go straight to department reports, starting with academic affairs, Josie Ward.
All right, well, I pretty much have already given the general rundown. That's what I started off with. So I'm just going to dive right into my plans for the semester, starting off with a campaign to help students transition to using Canvas, because most students, unless you're a freshman and you have any previous experience with Canvas, you've never really used it. And I don't think that Bradley has really developed any explanation or how-to guides or anything to help. And while most students are tech savvy, we do have students that aren't necessarily the best at navigating any type of new website or program like that before. After that, I would like to start something for students and advisors to have more communication, because we're having online learning and we don't necessarily know what our school year will look like in the next 2 weeks or so after we've actually fully been on campus, and where we're going to go from there. I would like it for advisors to either meet with students either through Zoom or at least have some type of email check-in and make sure that the online or hybrid style or any type of learning that they're doing is going well, and to make sure that if there are any things that need to change, then that's done so. And I would either like to reach out to all of the on-campus advisors or even personally send out some type of Google form to get feedback from students and check in on how their learning experience is going. So that way we can make sure that if there's something that needs to be done, we can fix it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Josie. We're going to move on to campus affairs with Harini.
Hi guys, so the two main projects we're going to be starting off with, not necessarily, this is not going to take that much time, but we're going to be starting off with these two. So Emma has brought to my attention that there's been concerns with dining hall, like how they're structured, and like they're still doing buffet in Geyser, and we're looking into that. Emma has like sent me the information, so I'll be looking into that a little bit. And then another thing we're going to start off with this semester is like the timings in different buildings. So Markin website has listed the wrong timings with the hours of operations. So we're going to contact them to fix it. And we'll also be trying to get like information about study areas and like where students can study with like the number of people it can hold and the hours of operations of each of those buildings. So probably in the next GA meeting, I'll have it for you guys.
Great. Moving on to campus safety and community relations with AJ Fidanzo.
Okay, so in the future, I'll probably have more information for everyone, but for right now, I'm just going to read this almost verbatim. But the first two projects we're going to work on, basically the first one is involving that asymptomatic testing that the university is doing. Basically, I want to review the daily symptom tracker, which I'm sure that you've all seen as we've been getting those emails daily, and give feedback to the university on both of those procedures. Figure out, can they be streamlined? Is there possible room for improvement? Would it be in the way that I'm not sure for that, but that could be something that I would like to work on. And then the second thing is the Ring doorbell campaign. So this campaign focuses on the utilization of video recording doorbells in our immediate off-campus community. Obviously, the focus would be on the safety of our off-campus students. And then the goal is to cut down on off-campus crime and increase safety.
Great, thank you. Diversity and inclusion with Emmanuel.
Hello again. I think I touched on the first project, but I will reiterate again. So we are going to the Office of the Department of Diversity and Inclusion is going to host an event in light of the current political climate to support the Black Lives Matter movement in Bradley. That is the first project that we're working on. And the second one is also to facilitate a communication network between all the minority organizations on campus, and if possible, just bring them under one banner or one umbrella of the Student Senate, so that they are not just repeating projects, but just building off each other, and then host more innovative projects that will benefit the whole Bradley community. So these are the two projects that the Office of Diversity is working.
Great, thank you so much. Internal Affairs with Karen Fregoso.
Hello, everyone. I haven't really been able to speak, so I guess I'll just go over my role. So my role on Senate is to kind of oversee everyone, including our SBOs, make sure everyone's following Constitution and bylaws. I'm going to also be the parliamentarian for the Senate. My goal for the semester is to really just try to make things as quote unquote normal as possible, kind of make things similar to Senate pre-COVID. So with that being said, attendance will be taken seriously. And what else? Oh, and keeping up with constituency reports will also be kind of, still in full effect. As well as if you guys have any questions, concerns about Senate, feel free to email me. I'm trying to keep up with our emails as much as possible, so I will get back to you guys as soon as possible. Anything you want to talk about, come my way.
Great, thank you. Well, I'll go with public relations interim. Rise of the Red we had last week was a great success. We handed out some short sleeve t-shirts, stainless steel water bottles, and we had 248 attendees. Okay, next week, Rise of the Red is going to be outside Bradley Hall, and we'll be handing out rubber bracelets, long and short sleeve t-shirts and hats. And you can sign up to help for the next in the next 3 weeks by clicking the link that's hyperlinked in the document. But the document can also be found in the shared drive. And again, the PR chairperson role is currently vacant, so please contact me if you are interested. Moving on to student body executive reports, we're going to go with Director of Administration, Brandy Wayne.
Right. So welcome. Again, if you want, thank you. Be very briefly. As Director of Administration, I am also a sitting member of SABRC, which is the Student Activities Budget Review Committee. If you are part of an organization on campus and have asked for funding, you might have gotten it from SABRC. Sponsor a lot of different events on campus. All the money, a lot of times like ACBU, comes to SABRC for funding. The Panhandle Council comes to SABRC for money, and a lot of other organizations come to SABRC. So as well as being a Director of Administration, I'm also the president of SABRC. So I cannot sit on both because I am a chairperson and president of SABRC. So if you are an interested Student Senate representative and you have been voted in, and you are interested in being a representative for SABRC, please let me know. It is pretty intensive. There are 2 really intensive weekends where you really sit there and listen to over 100 requests of money. Karen knows, she cited it. It will go like from Friday from 3 to about 8 p.m., Saturday 8 a.m. to whenever we're finished. And then we have to review the requests, but since it's virtual now, it'll most likely be over a course of a week, and we'll go for an extended amount of time, constantly listening to different requests. But if you are interested in sitting in this and being a voting member of Student Senate, please let me know. I can put my email in there. You can email me if you're interested in being a student representative for representing Student Senate for SABRC. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Chief of Staff, Ellie Hawkins.
Hey, I don't have a report for today, but just wanted to wish everybody a happy first General Assembly. Excited for what this year will hold.
Thank you. Okay, back to me again. You get to hear me once again. First of all, please let me know if there are, folks that you would like me to invite to speak before the Senate. Once again, that is one of the perks of this position. I get to invite speakers to come before the Senate. So that ranges from anybody in the administration down to local leaders, anything like that. So please, if there's someone that you would like to hear from or think that the Senate would benefit from hearing from, please let me know. My goal, I'm working to have President Standiford come to join us at GA very soon. As you all know, he is a very busy man, especially just having taken his position not too long ago. But I will definitely be working on that and let you know how that goes. Also, please, 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 please reach out to your friends. We have a lot of positions to fill, and we really want to be able to get those filled. So please, if you know friends that are interested in joining, please let them know and send them our way so we can continue to build our Senate. And okay, President of the Student Body, Emma Hoytia.
I was hoping that wasn't going to happen today, whatever. So a couple of things, mostly things that happened over the summer that I just want to keep you guys updated on. Number one is I go to the Board of Trustees meetings, and those happen quarterly, if I do recall. And there was one, my first one that I had as a solo run in August. It was virtual. Board of Trustees is just any and all people that just kind of have stock in the university and have a say in how it's run. And so there were a lot of things discussed, but mostly it was just them asking, how are things going to work now that things are online? And if you are interested in reading my report, I reported on things that we were doing over the summer and projects that the chair people were already working on, as well as a personal statement that I'm pretty proud of. So if you want to go read it, feel free. At the end, some random lady that I just don't know who she is, she said it was beautiful. So random lady thought it was beautiful, which I guess I can be proud of. Another thing happening right now is, as you guys know, President Standiford made a statement following George Floyd's murder that people really, really didn't like, and then sent out a follow-up that included some plans for what he wanted to do. And that included a diversity advisory committee. And so the person that's leading that is a man named Glenn Ross. He is an alumni, but he does not work for the university right now. But he's doing a great job, and I'm really just incredibly thankful for the opportunity to sit on it. We just finished, I think, about 4 weeks of a listening period where students of color on campus voiced different stories of moments they experienced racism on campus, as well as general issues that they see that are systemic in the university that they think need to be changed. There's a lot of stuff. Anybody that's been in the university for long enough can kind of point to a couple of things that need to change. One of which is that, Norris Chase just has way too much on his shoulders, who's the director of diversity and inclusion. And right now we are in the committee stage. So I am in the climate and culture committee. And then the other two are access to services and strategy and policy. We just had our first kind of opening committee meeting, so nothing huge has happened yet, but the ultimate goal is that each of the 3 committees is going to come up with 3 action items that they think need to happen at the university. Those things will be sent to the president, and I will be sure to keep you guys updated on how he responds to them, what those things are. But so far, he seemed very, very excited and open to doing what people think need to be done, especially those that have, experienced firsthand the issues of Bradley. He's new, he acknowledges that, and he wants to help change those things. There's there's a presidential advisory committee that really came beginning of the school year, beginning of the summer, sorry, that was primarily used for financial things at first, because we were entering into a new COVID era and we already have a crazy deficit every year here at Bradley. And so he used it as a kind of sounding board for different faculty and staff members, and I'm the only student on it, which has been very beneficial, and they've been very open to hearing what I have to say about things. The first kind of big ticket item was that voluntary severance opportunity that they gave to anybody in the university that's employed there, where they would get a semester's pay over the course of 2 years. It was relatively successful. They almost got to the number that they needed to get to, but they did have to, unfortunately, do a couple of involuntary separations. The next meeting for that is going to be 3 p.m. this Wednesday. So if you have anything that you think needs to be brought up to, that is the CFO, the provost, the president, various professors, someone from the marketing team, lots of deans. If you have anything that you want me to bring up, happy to do so. And then University Senate, we mentioned it in the info session earlier, but that is similar to us. They are not as structured. So we do have 4 seats. I believe they're open to the public if anybody's ever interested in attending the University Senate meetings. Sometimes they're pretty funny to be at. But we do have 4 seats, and that's where the SBOs will go. And I'll show you guys that report eventually. And if you want me to add anything, I love that kind of feedback. And that's it for me.
Right, thank you. Advisor Coy is not here.
No, he's not here, but he sends his warmest regards.
This is usually where he would give his report. Then we have no constituency reports as of now. Unless we do.
Anybody have anything they want to say?
Okay. We have no unfinished business. We have no new business. Public comments. Public. Anybody from the public here? Wonderful.
I think we have our scout representative in here. I think that might be our only public member.
Well, I'm sure there's a few more public because there are some freshmen I think are here as well.
Wonderful.
I can't really tell. Call for announcements. There's a link there. Sign up to table for Rise of the Red. Usually, if anyone has announcements, that's where we will put them. Okay.
That's general announcements. Feel free to make any announcements on other clubs that you're in that have events that you'd like people to attend. This is a literal open time for anybody to share. So
great.
Voice that now if you want.
Anyone? All right, we're going to adjourn this meeting at 6:10.
Thank you for coming, everyone. Let us know if you have any questions.
Are there any freshmen here online who did not get to see the mandatory presentation? Please speak up now. If you're interested in running for the position of freshman senator and did not see the mandatory presentation. I see one.
Micah Lewis.
Yeah, okay, so I'm actually, Karen, if you could link up with Micah and give him that presentation so he can be able to, to run, that would be wonderful. Otherwise, everyone else, you are dismissed. Thank you so much for joining us.
Can I stay in this or should I send a news?
Yeah, you feel free to stay in this. I just want to make sure no one has any questions or anything like that.
Do I need to stay?
No, you're good to go. Thanks, Sally.
Cool.
Bye.
See you guys.
Hi, Karima. We can have a chat in the chat there. And you guys, Karen, feel free to go ahead with Micah.
So with the presentation, Brandy, one of the slides you gave me about the advertising, I used it and it got kind of confusing. So when I go over it, I might need your input in it for a little, because everyone got confused about the QR code. Because it says to make a QR code on there.
I didn't look at the I didn't look at it when I sent it to you.
Okay, here, I'll share my screen. Oh, I can't share screen.
I'll pull it up, but you can go over it. You can start from wherever. I'll just pull it up from my end.
Okay, Emma, can you give me permission to share my screen?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
There we go. Go ahead.
Thank you. All right. Give me 1 second to pull up this little PowerPoint that I made up. Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay. Alrighty. So welcome to the presentation for freshman elections. So what I did, which I feel Emma, Brandy covered, is basically what Senate does and what Senate is. You as a senator are here to represent your freshman class through constituency reports, through your committee that you will be appointed to. The TLDR is you are here to be the voice of your freshman class. So the requirements to run is straight from the laws and Constitution. What you need to do is you need to submit the